Good pace. Are you serious?
The thought there wasn't make this. I'm sure subconsciously was please make it or go there, but it was gauging the speed, pick the best line possible, and just free yourself up, and luckily went in. See ya.
And it's in! Yes!
The drought is over! The drought is over! Nick Taylor with the eagle! The 2023 RBC Canadian Open champion! History!
I want to start by asking you about this beautiful piece of silver here. What does this represent to you?
Man, I think it's a lot. It represents a lot of years of obviously hard work with golf. I think it represents a lot of history of Canadian golf and trying to win it for your country. You know, I'm very proud of the fact that I could be the person to bring it back to Canada. So it means a lot, you know, very deep in a lot of levels.
Was all of that weight on your shoulders when you hit the course, or did that kind of hit you afterwards, the historic nature of all of this?
When you're in the moment inside the ropes, I'm not really thinking about that per se, but I think the weight of it definitely hit me post-tournament. You know, what it's meant to a lot of people.
How has life changed since you won this?
You know, not a whole lot. I've said this before a lot. Like, I'm still changing diapers when I'm home, and it's very much early mornings with both our kids now. But you know, I've been recognized a few different times at maybe airports, and you know, it's fun to be at golf tournaments now, hearing 70-foot putt cheers or a lot of congratulatory from other players and caddies. So that part's been a lot of fun.
I was watching an interview you did on CBC News Network right afterwards, and you said, "I still feel like I'm up in the clouds." So have your feet touched the ground yet?
If they are, it's still tippy toes probably. I think it's looking back, seeing the replay, thinking about again what it means to a lot of Canadians, Canadian players. Yeah, I think it's going to take a long time to really register, but having time to be at home and reflect has been nice to kind of look back on it.
This, of course. Have you watched this since?
I have seen the footage, yeah.
You have seen the footage. Okay, let's watch this, and then I want you to tell me what was going through your mind.
Good pace. Are you serious? Oh my goodness!
I've told people I don't remember throwing the putter. I think it was, a blackout type of, I don't really show the kind of motion that I did really that whole week, with fist pumps, with the crowd. The energy was just unbelievable.
Did you know from that point that you would make it? Or at what point did you realize that was going to go in?
I think when it disappeared was the first time that it maybe registered. I felt like, when seeing the video, you can see probably the split second of shock that it actually did go in.
Well, yeah, let's continue playing it here because the reaction is incredible too.
And it was just kind of one of those moments that I'll never forget.
And then?
Adam Hadwin with the champagne bottle to go spray his buddy Nick Taylor gets de-cleated.
They just tackled Adam Hadwin.
Did you realize that tackle had happened or no?
In the corner of my eye I did, but yeah, that was kind of a cherry on top.
So what did he say to you when you talked to him eventually?
I also asked if his body's doing all right, because that was a heck of a tackle. But, he was so good. He was, he's been a big support.
Golf is known as kind of a buttoned up, very quiet golf clap sport. That was not the situation there. Tell me about that, and when, if you fed off that energy.
100% I did. It was, again, I think golf is getting to that state. I think to get more people into the sport is where golf tournaments are trying to go. The rink hole has been an amazing addition to the Canadian Open, and it's just been a lot of fun to have that atmosphere out there.
I want to talk about your wife, because I understand that you credit this historic win with a pep talk that she gave you. Tell me about that.
So yeah, we were, that was, at the time, it was maybe 5 or 6 weeks post our daughter Harper being born.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard for me I wanted to be away playing tournaments that I love, but also it was very hard to leave them at home. And she just saw some of the footage of the Thursday when I didn't play particularly well, and she said, "Hey, it looks like you're having no fun. Like, we're fine at home. Just go and kind of change your attitude a little bit." I knew my game was where I needed it to be per se, but just that switch and kind of kick me in the back to kind of like, "Hey, go have fun. We're home here. We're totally fine." and it obviously helped a lot.
I know one person that this might not have happened without is Luke Bogdan, who I talked to at length on Friday.
Okay.
He gave me some interesting stories, by the way. But he also said you're very competitive, and I guess at Mario Kart as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Because I heard on your Twitter it said for the longest time that you're like what are you, top 5?
Yeah, that was an arbitrary. I made that up. But, yeah, we played a bunch of that in college with a good friend Kevin Spooner and other teammates on our golf team.
And he actually told me this. He said, the best competitor in Nick comes out when it's a huge crowd, when it's thousands of people watching, when the pressure is on. How do you find the calm in that storm to focus?
That's a good question. I don't know if I can nail one thing down to it. I think, I kind of relish being in those moments. I think over the course of the career, it's kind of those moments you want to be in. And so, I had a chance to win. I felt like I was ready to hopefully do it. And hopefully, and gladly everything turned out. But yeah, I've always just enjoyed being in those and trying to have pressure-packed shots and try to pull them off.
I want to talk to you about kind of the dominant issue right now when it comes to golf. And of course, that is the controversy with LIV.
The PGA Tour and its European counterpart announced plans to merge with their rival, LIV Golf, the upstart Saudi-backed league.
It's paid massive amounts of cash to entice some of the world's top golfers to leave the PGA Tour.
If it's purely for money, it's not. It never seems to go the way you want it to.
Rory McIlroy said that even if LIV was the last place to play golf on earth, I would retire. That's how I feel about it. How are you grappling with this personally?
I've sided with Rory in a lot of his opinions of what's been going on. I've always supported the PGA Tour. And right now there's so much uncertainty, which I think is what's frustrating for players and people involved around the entire sport is we just don't really know what's going on, and time will tell with that. But
do you have concerns about Saudi money in golf?
Like I said, I feel like I've always supported the PGA Tour and their stance. And I think that's why when this had come out, it was puzzling, confusing, frustrating, kind of all the above. And now almost like we have no choice. So, like I said, I've sided with Rory on a lot of his opinions. There's so many questions I have those same questions that we don't have answers to. And I think it sounds like it's inevitable.
And last question to that kid that might be watching. 12, 14 years old, that does have big dreams. What's your advice to them?
I think anything's possible. It's if you put your head down, obviously there's a lot of hard work in anything that you want to achieve, but if you have a goal and want to achieve it, like I said, I think anybody can do it.